All right. Hi, everyone. If you can hear me, just say yes in the chat message. Good evening, all. I hope I'm audible. So in the chat message, you can reply here that I'm audible. Okay. So I cannot see messages here. Maybe. Let me try it by. Okay, great. That's all set. All right. So let's do the quiz first. So you have to just log in here, the Kahoot quiz. So please log in from your mobile phone right here. So what you have to do, it's very simple. So use your mobile phone and just type this www.kahoot.it and it will be asked for a game pin. That is the game pin, or else you can just download Kahoot app in your mobile phone. Right. So I hope you all have done the practice of Git and GitHub, whatever we have done yesterday. That is going to be a part of your DevOps infrastructure. I can see a couple of players joining here. Very random and weird name, by the way. Mushroom Nuclear. Okay, great. So whosoever are new to this game, what you can do, just open your mobile phone, only from mobile phone, and go to this website, enter a game pin. I can see 15 players as of now, waiting for more. Do it quickly as soon as you can. Do. So around 20 players are here. '22. Guys, do it very quickly. So you will be having top 5 players. Okay, you know that rules. The questions will be visible in my screen only, not in your screen. And on behalf of your questions, you have 60 seconds to answer. The more faster you answer, the more point you get, right? So you know that here's the game of doing fast or answering it fast. All right. So last 30 seconds. I'm waiting for joining people. Okay, it's 26, 27 players as of now. So, all right. So I think it's all fine. Around 27 or 30 players are here in the game. Okay, so one limit crossed. 31 players as of now. Maybe there is a slow stream between you and me, because these days YouTube server is also not that much good. Okay, so you know the rules, right? You have to just take the question from my screen and answer it from your phone. So okay, so 1 2 3 go. I'm just starting it. All right, so first question is about to come on your screen. So this quiz is all about Git and GitHub. Okay, so we are just talking about Git and GitHub here, and all right, so boom, starting here. Wonderful. So yesterday we have discussed about the distributed version control system. So if you remember that in the category of version control system, if you talk about distributed, right? So we have two options, Mercurial and Git. So the right answer is the first one. I'm really glad that maximum people have given the right answer, 16 people out of 33. Oh, 32. Okay, wonderful. Let's see the rankings. Top 5 people, they are here. So you can see out of 1000 marks, Alchemist, Nuclear, Naruto, Yogi, and Delhi 6. Okay, wonderful guys. This was the first question, and this is the second now. Whoa, maximum correct. So get init is a command that you can convert a normal folder into Git repo, and really amazing job guys. You are doing exceptionally great. Wonderful. Okay, and yes, nice. So and next. Wonderful, amazing job. So the right command is git add dot. That means you guys are watching videos. Okay, that wonderful, very much wonderful. And this is a huge change in ranking. And fourth question. This is complete typo. Okay. Nice. Maximum correct. We can use git clone command to take a copy of our project. All right. Now the next question. So the right answer is the last. I have just explained yesterday. We can use HTTPS and SSH command just to push the data on GitHub. Okay. Now couple of people are confused here still. See, if you are answering like git push origin master, that's the right answer to push. But the question is about which protocol. That means either git push command is using HTTPS or SSH. So we talked about I believe HTTPS only, but we can use SSH and HTTPS both to push the changes in the GitHub. Okay, so let me just write it down. So if you are a developer and in your laptop you have code and you want to push this on GitHub, okay, push it on GitHub. So whenever you are hitting this command like git push, so by default this is connecting with HTTPS protocol, but we can change this HTTPS to SSH. And how you can figure out all this? Let's say if I'm gonna open my repo, okay, and if you try to just click here on the clone, see, we have two options: clone with SSH, use HTTPS. So if you use HTTPS, by default that is the one. You can use SSH also. Okay, so two protocols we can use to just answer. Anyway, let's see. Django is in the game. Okay, wonderful. Nice, amazing job. So maximum people have given the right answer. Git reset is the command. We can just do rollback. Nuclear is on fire. Okay, good. Second last. Maximum correct answers. So by using git log, you can check the commit history, right? And if you're not just able to figure out, you need to watch that video again, the one that we had yesterday. Okay, now the final question. Nice. So maximum correct. Get rm is a command. Let's see top 5 people. Yes. So congratulations to all of you. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are runners, Pikey and Alchemist. But it's amazing, guys. So in short, this was a very short quiz. Anyway, so from today onwards, we are going to start something. But before that, I really want to request those people who are in the web dev group, please connect to me around 10:30 p.m. today in the group itself, because I just forget to assign the project because of some of my issues. Okay, so around 10:30 p.m. you need to connect with me on that group so that I can give an project, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 projects to this team. I can divide team in 2 or 3 different groups. So please connect me on the WhatsApp group itself around 10:30 p.m. All right, it will be very much okay. Fine. So now we are going to talk about Devops pipeline. Devops pipeline from today onwards, right? Pipelines. And first of all, you have to understand this DevOps culture, and to understand that DevOps culture, we need to understand a couple of more things. So the agenda of today is definitely is DevOps pipelines, and how we are going to achieve this. So let me talk about how a software is releasing, right? How a software is releasing in the real world, right? So that means, uh, let's say we have a software or a PUBG game. I'm talking about the PUBG game as of now. So PUBG is, let's say, releasing a new version, right? New version in every 6 months, or any. You can talk about Firefox, or you can talk about any operating system. Any of the product that is releasing in every 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, one day, doesn't matter, right? But this is about software release. Okay. So first of all, you have to understand how a software is releasing and what is the process behind that. When you understand the process behind that, then you will be able to understand DevOps pipelines. Okay. Now the thing is, let me take you to the very much old process of software release. So first of all, what is going to happen if we want to create a software or a product? Okay. So I'm just taking a example of Firefox itself, because the release of Firefox is very fast these days. So Firefox is a software or product, and how Firefox is releasing in the real industry. Okay. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to plan. So there's a team who's going to plan how the software will look like and what are the functionalities are there, what will be the plugins, add-on, and so many things. So if today I'm just clicking on my icon of Firefox, okay, so it is having some couple of distributions or flavors, or I can say it has so many things, right? So how this software will look like, what will be the feature, what will be the things, everything needs to be planned. Okay. So everything needs to be planned. When there is a planning, we need to make a team, make teams. Okay. That means the teams, they can handle the look. That means the front end team, okay, who will take care of how the software will look like. And then there will be designers. Then the backend team, they can maintain the backend process. And then testing guys, okay. And then finally all integration team. Couple of teams will be required to do all this. Okay. Once this is designed, then you have to just put the code in deployment. Sorry, after teams, write the code. Write code and then test it and deploy it. And once you are deploying the code, if the deployment is successfully happening, then you can release the software. So many processes are there: planning, making teams, writing code, testing it, deploying it. Deployments, you can say running it. That means either in a Docker or in AWS cloud or in any other server. That means you are running your code to check your outcome. If everything is fine, now you can release it, and the release is happening on behalf of operating system. Maybe you can get an exe of the code, maybe you can get an RPM of the code, you can get the DMG of the code, the way you want, right? So exe for Microsoft release, for Mac release, for Red Hat release, or for .deb Ubuntu release. So this is for Mac, this is for Windows, and this is for Red Hat, RHEL, and this is for Ubuntu, and many more OS are there in the market. Okay, so that means this is generally, I'll get back to you with them how exactly they are earning. So this is something, I'm not saying this is all, these are all very much complete steps or everything is there, but this is the most required steps are there. So if you're understanding all this scenario, that means yes, releasing a product or software will take time, effort, coding, testing, and so many things in the market, right? So just say yes in the chat window that yes, you are understanding it. Not exactly understanding it, you are feeling that, flow. That means yes, we need to follow in the same way, right? If you are understanding it, just say yes, or if you have some question, you can ask, and if you're not understanding, just say no in the chat window so that I can just go with the next step. Okay, so as of now I'm getting a lot of messages in the chat window. Yes, you guys are understanding that these kind of things or steps need to be performed to release. Okay, so wonderful, that's awesome. Now let's talk about the real situation. Okay, so what exactly real situation is? So let's say we are going to talk about the real situation, or real, or I can say reality. Okay, and the reality is we are making a team. Let's say we are making a team of 2 or 3 teams. So team number 1, team number 2, team number 3, and that team can be according to the need, right? According to the need, we are making 3 teams. What the guys are doing, the guys are just the first step, that means step number 1, they are writing code. So they are simply coding it, right? When they are coding it, they are just checking the code in their local system. That means if they are coding it somewhere on some cloud machine or their local system somewhere, so they are running it locally so that they can understand whatever they are coding, that is working fine in their own system at least. Okay, so step number 1 is whenever you code, it's the very much same thing for you, right? Because whenever you write some code, how you check that? By running in your own system or whatever platform you have, right? If this is very much successful, then you are submitting the code to, all the teams are submitting code to any of the source code management system like Git. So the step number 2, if this is a success, then you have to submit the code in any of the version control system like Git. This is my step number 2. Okay, so when you are submitting the code here, so there will be another team who will test this code, or I can say who will check this code on behalf of a couple of things. Let's say they are checking the performance, they are checking the code ethics, right? They are checking exact, the language use, or I can say, testing mechanism and couple of things. Okay, testing, let me just, testing approach. Okay, and many more things. If the testing is successful, they need to just deploy it. And deployment is also divided into a couple of categories. Okay, category means they have some kind of environment like testing deployment, testing environment. They have a staging environment, they have pre-production environment, and then they have production environment. Okay, they have production environment. So that means when I say deployment, let's say in the testing they are doing it on deploying on Docker. In staging they are deploying it on AWS cloud, and here they are deploying on Windows Server, and here they are deploying on some any product like Kubernetes or anywhere. So we have so many different environment with different version of or kind of platforms. They all can be same as well, but in general we have various environment, because the reason is we never know the code we are doing here is going to use or run by the customer in whatever way. So they are doing this, and if everything is a successful process, then they are going to release that. Okay, then they are going to release this product. Okay, and the final release will be now available for download. Okay, this download can be private for a particular customer or public for all people. Okay, so the point is that you have to understand here is we have the reality. People are coding, then they are submitting the code on any of the source code management system. Then the tester and software checker, they are just doing some performance check, code ethics and testing approach. Then we are deploying it, and deployment is divided into a couple of categories. Staging, so these are setup. Setup means the way the software should run, or you can check couple of issues. Okay, many more things are there. If everything is successful, then they can release, and then it's downloadable publicly or privately. Okay, now the point is every single step need time. So we need, let's say, 3 months to code, for example, 3 months to code, and we are submitting it. Then there is another team who's taking care of all this. Now you guys will not be able to improve your code until unless they are not providing some feedback on behalf of their checks. So that means your further code development is very much dependent on them. Now, even if they have provided some feedback, the code that you are doing in your local laptop or system, this code is exactly running same on these different environments that needs to be checked. So we have another team, right? We have another team. The team of people who understand how to deploy. Deploy means how to exactly run your code on Docker or AWS or Microsoft Windows Server or Kubernetes and so many places, depending on company to company. But we have a lot of environment, and these environments need to be, execute the code, and that will be followed by a testing process. So if they are giving a green signal, then this code will be passed to the deployment team. And deployment team may have a couple of more teams according to the stages. If everything is working fine, then they'll say a green signal to you, the testing team, and they will send a green signal to you guys. And now you can finally release this. So you know what releasing means? You are now doing this, a process called build. Build means you are generally making a tar or exe or rpm or jar of your code. because we are not going to give the code in form of, and that build, you can also give it to that testing team. Okay, so that means I'm not saying build is going to be released directly. You can just make a build of it and can give it to here. So testing will be doing that, and testing can make a build and give to deployment team if everything is successful. So right now what is happening actually, you are taking time, you are a normal developer, then testing engineer is different, different team, different person, deployment engineer is different team, different person. Now your code or your further deployment or development of the product is very much dependent. If there is a delay, so let's say you write the code, you run it in your system, but you don't know how to test it, or you write the code, you do it everything, but company has couple of rules, so it must be deployed by deployment engineer. Now the deployment engineer don't understand what is the code because they don't have much knowledge about this. And the same problem with you as well. You don't understand how testing need to be performed, how deployment is need to be done. So every team is a dependent. So you know what the outcome is? Delay. That simply means dependency is directly proportional to delay. Okay, so when you are very much dependent on couple of steps or couple of people, so there will be a delay, right? Delay means it is a time taking process and you are dependent. So that means if you are free for 3 days, for 1 month, you're knowing nothing about this project because of people are developing it, they will give you feedback and couple of things, so you will be doing the next process. If you are understanding this reality or situation, then say yes, you are understanding in the chat window, then we can talk about the solution to this delay or the real thing that we can implement so that we don't have to be that much dependent on the teams. Okay, so I'm waiting for your response in the chat window. So for hers, it's yes, you are understanding it. I'm waiting for response from other people. Okay, great, that is wonderful. I think you guys are too smart. You're getting everything in one shot. I don't need to repeat it. Okay, that's awesome, really. All right, so now when we have so much dependencies here, what would be the solution? So if we can solve that dependency so that developer don't have to wait for the testing engineer and for deployment engineers, they can just do testing in one click, right? See, so this dependency can be resolved, or this delay can be resolved by implementing a new technology. So let me tell you, this all process need to be followed in the past. So you know what, if you understand software development life cycle model, so you understand about the waterfall. I hope you must have read that topic in your BTech life. Okay, waterfall model in the software development life cycle. And in this model, product can take 2 to 5 years to release. Okay, so that means 2 to 5 years is a big deal. So that means a good product. I'm not saying only for the coding time, 2 to 5 years for a new release, because these engineers need to be dependent on a couple of things. The second model came in picture, that is agile. Agile is a very good model, and where we can take 3 months to an year, almost an year, to make a new release, right? This is for release. Okay, now finally we are in the DevOps. And DevOps is a very strong model. The release can be in every second to a day. So the time is getting decreased day by day. So that means a second to a day, right? You can see the changes, right? Waterfall model, agile methodology, and DevOps now. Okay. So that means when we say we are in the world of industry or in IT industry where we are not investing much time to make a release. When I'm saying release, please remember that all these steps are going to happen in that way. So that means DevOps can do this release in a 1 second. That means if you are coding and you have done with the coding and you have submitted it here, then within 1 second to 1 day you get the response by the teams, like from them. Okay, so that means DevOps is the most sexiest term or technology or the culture we are living in, right? So when you are understanding, yes, DevOps is that much fast, then you have to understand one more thing, right? The thing is, all these process, manual checking, deployment, this must not be performing in the backend by humans. If a human will do that testing these days that people are doing, so there will be delay. So that means if humans are doing testing, so that always inversely proportional to delay. If you will do all these steps except coding, testing, and deployment, right? So there is a delay. So when we say DevOps is doing every single thing. That means building, testing, deploying, and many more steps by the engineering called automation. So there are so many tools, automation tools, and these automation tools can be used for automation, and I can say build or release. Okay. So now we need automation in testing, checking, deployment, and so many places. So now this DevOps has a lot of tools. Like we have tools like Ansible. We have tools like Puppet, right? We have tools like Terraform. We have tools like Automation Anywhere, right? And we have tools like Jenkins. We have product like Docker, making it fast. We have product like Kubernetes, and so many things. So the culture or the thing we are living in is this. And definitely we need good monitoring, because how we are performing, everything needs to be monitored. Okay. So in monitoring we have ELK, or we have EFK stack, and we have Prometheus, that we're going to talk about in Kubernetes section, although we have so many things. So that means DevOps is not that much dependent on humans except the ones. Okay, that means it is the automated way of doing this and this step. I'm not saying coding is also automated somewhere, but we are living in this industry. So that's why when we are saying DevOps engineer, so that means this, okay? And DevOps is solving all these problems by just making a dependency. So let's say you are submitting code on source code management system, then a tool will be coming in picture that will take and it will test it, it will build it, or I can say first it will build that thing. Build means integrate, then it will test, it will deploy, and then it can release, right? So these are very much dependent on each other. So it's this and this and this and this entire thing, we call it, this entire thing we call it DevOps pipelines. Why pipeline? Because pipeline means this is dependent, this is going to send the output to here, now this will be sending here, and this will be sending here. That means every next step is dependent on the previous. That's why, so this previous dependency is known as pipeline. Okay, so that simply means it will be something like this. So if you are understanding specifically this discussion, dependency or delay or this model and this solution, and this is the pipeline thing, then welcome to DevOps engineering. And DevOps is the most sexiest job ever as of now. So I can say DevOps is the future. Okay, and is the most sexiest job ever. All right, so just say yes in the chat window if you all are understanding this discussion, so that we can talk about how we are going to perform it. All right, so waiting for your responses in the chat window. Understanding but scaring a bit, it's not a problem. डर होना चाहिए इंसान की जिंदगी में, right Rhythm? Kushi, we are not going to cover all these technology definitely, but I'll try my best to not exactly the same. DevOps not in coming in the picture of software development lifecycle model. DevOps itself a model now. So just don't count it as a branch. It's just a solution to that problem. So software development lifecycle is a model. So we have all this methodology. I can say this is a methodology rather than all these things. Okay. So all right. Now how we are going to make the pipelines like this. So let's say, let me tell you how we are going to do that DevOps pipeline. So we will be having something like this. So let's say if you are a developer, I'm just taking it a very small example, and you are developing a website or web application. That web application can be in any language. It can be in HTML, CSS, Node, Angular, and whatever you are using as of now. Okay. Now you are just creating this web application and you are checking in your local browser. Okay. You know that this code needs to be deployed in some server. So what you'll do, once you done with the code at your own level, you need to submit it in the any of the source code management system. Now there will be some tool that can use this your source code management system like Git, and it will take a build. When I say build, it will combine your code. So you have given all your things, it will make a build. Build means it will combine all your code. And why it will combine? Because so that you can test that code on behalf of the build. So let's say if you want to test on top of Docker, so it will build like that so that your code can be deployed on web server. When this test will be happening, then you need to deploy it. Testing means it will take your code, take the dependency, make an image. So let's say if this is your web application, so it can make Docker image. In terms of Docker, if I can give an example, so build and test means it will build the code first, it will test it locally, and will make Docker image. Then it can push it somewhere else, and we can deploy this image in some public server. If deployment outcome you can check in your own browser, yes, it's working very much fine, then you can probably go with the release. Okay, so because there are so many developers who are pushing the changes in your source code management system. So what is happening, in the early days or in the beginning, people are submitting code on GitHub, then you have to notify, or I can say you can just give that details to another team, and they will build it. Then these team will send a notification or detail or information to this team, and they will send it to this. So everything was manual. What if some Devops pipeline tool came in picture that can detect whenever you push the changes in your GitHub or some source code management system, it can take the code automatically within a second, and it can build it. If the build is successful, it can test it. If the test is successful, it will deploy it automatically. This process will be very much in automation. You don't have to perform anything. It will be in very much automation. So that means this will be automatically happening every time whenever you make a changes here in the GitHub. You don't have to call to your testing team. You don't have to call to your deployment team. Now you are not dependent on these teams. So this structure will be created for the first time, and then everything will be happening automatically, right? So because when you are submitting your code here, it will build, means it is actually integrated. So that kind of DevOps tool, we are saying it's a CI, means continuous integration. Continuous integration, because your code need to be integrated. And CD, continuous deployment. So we call this kind of pipeline tools as a CI/CD tool. So in one way you can just talk about CI/CD. So just code it, submit here, automatically it will make a build, it will make a testing environment, it can deploy. So this part is deployment, means continuous deployment, and this is all your continuous integration. So CI/CD. CD also stand for continuous delivery, right? Continuous delivery. Alright, so I hope you are understanding. We are going to do all these steps automatically, and this steps process will be done by Devops Pipeline, and we are calling it CI/CD. Okay, now if you are understanding this all, echo problem, I just missed that messages, by the way, so it's fine now. Okay, so if you are understanding CI/CD, just say yes in the chat window, right? So continuous integration and continuous delivery and deployment. So for Harsh, it's all fine. Yes for rhythm. All right. Great. So you guys are understanding it very well. Okay. Now what we are going to do, we need to figure out some tools and software who can do CI/CD. So let me just Google it. Devops CI/CD tools, right? If you just click on the open source or any of the website where you can get the list of tools, so I'm opening at opensource.com, and if you try to just list the tools, CI/CD tools, I think, yes. So the first tool, this is not a ranking by the way, the CI, so GitLab is the one that can perform CI. It's not capable of doing CD part much. Go CD, it's also a good tool, right? CI by Travis, Jenkins, right? Concourse CI, Spinnaker, Screwdriver, and many more. So many tools are there in the market that can perform CI/CD tool. So the most popular CI and CD tool that is actually being used by a couple of companies in the market. So if you talk about, CI and CD tools, so GitLab is the right option. Hudson is also a good one. TeamCity is also a good one, and Jenkins is also a good one. About CD, we have Spinnaker, we have Jenkins also, right? And so many options are there in the real industry. That means there is a huge list. So because we are looking for some code, some kind of tool that is free and that is most popular. So these days the most free and popular CI/CD tool is Jenkins, that can integrate it with any of the technology. So which CI/CD tool we are going to use? We are going to use Jenkins. Okay, let me tell you something about Jenkins. Jenkins is or I can say the most popular tool in the market for doing CI/CD, and I can say like that Jenkins is actually written in Java. It's a pure Java code, and the original project called Hudson. So you know what, Oracle company designed this product on their own language, because these days Oracle is the handling that Java language. So Hudson, but this was a closed source product. Okay, closed source product, and there is a dispute in the team. So when it was closed source, so the team has some dispute in their internal issues. Okay, so the same team from Oracle, they got separated and they contribute this product in an open source way, and that tool these days known as Jenkins. Okay, so that means it is completely written in Java. Previously it was named as Hudson. Now Hudson got closed, and now the tool is Jenkins. So you can install Jenkins tool everywhere. You can install in Windows, you can install in Mac, you can install in Linux, you can install in containers. So Jenkins can run as a Windows, Linux, Mac, and containers. So I want you or all of you to just install this tool in a containers for practicing two things, containers also and Jenkins also. Although I'm showing the installation method in my Linux machine, that how exactly we should install Jenkins. Okay, so what I'll do, let me just launch an instance in my Amazon cloud so that I can just show you. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm just launching this instance, and I'm taking first Amazon MI. You need around 2 gigs of RAM, so I'm just taking 2 gig RAM and 1 core CPU. Okay, and I'm just giving 8 GB storage. It's a 30 GB, so 8 GB storage is all fine. And here I'm just giving name is like Devops Jenkins. In the firewall configuration, I'm giving all as of now, review, launch, and I'm taking Oracle key. So this is my new, or I can say brand new Amazon Linux MI. Alright, so let's wait for a few minutes, 1 or 2 max, to just get ready that instance, and then I'll log into that instance. Alright, I can see here how much RAM is consumed by my system, and why system is sometimes very slow. So the OBS and Google Chrome, these are the most resource hungry software as of now. Okay, let me just log in here. So it is connecting to Amazon Linux, and when it is connecting to Amazon Linux, yes, I'm here. Okay, I'm switching to root user as of now. So how we install Jenkins in general? So to install Jenkins, first off we need Java, at least 8 or better version. So we need JDK support, JDK 1.8 or something. Okay, then we can install Jenkins here. So first of all we need Java, and I can check here in my Linux VM Java -- version. So as of now the command is not found. Okay, so what I can do, I can just type install Jenkins on, let's say, CentOS. So you have to follow the official website, not anyone else, not any other else website, wiki.jenkins.io, this website, right? And then I'm gonna check that. So they are just saying installation of this weekly version or LTS version. You can see here there is a weekly release of Jenkins, means every week they are releasing it. Okay, now first of all we need to install Java. Okay, so to install Java, what I'm doing is I'm doing yum install Java as of now, right? It will be there in your Linux machine in generally. Okay, if the Java is not present in general, you can just download some Java packages from your any official website by Oracle. Okay, so you can type JDK install on CentOS 7. You'll be getting a couple of blogs, website, okay, and so many things you can just follow. And if you face any problem, please let me know. Alright, Now the Java is getting installed. I can now type Java --version here. Yes. So I have JDK 11.07, that is much better LTS support. I need minimum Java 8, but we have 11, that's fine. Now how I install Jenkins. So if I'm using my Red Hat or any kind of system, so let's say always prefer LTS, means long-term support version. So let's follow these 3 steps. Number 1, okay. Number 2, and number 3. It is just installing Jenkins software. Okay. I can also check for the same, if you want to install Jenkins in Ubuntu as well, we have this list. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm just doing this product installation, and in the Jenkins we have couple of operating systems. So what I can search, Jenkins install on Ubuntu. Okay, you can again take this, the official website wiki.jenkins.io, and when you just check there, see how you do that. Make sure you have Java, and the Java package you can get it from here, or the same way you can just use apt install Java. Okay, or I can show you in my local laptop. So if I want to check Java --version, see I have 11.02, and the software name that you can just always prefer. So we have so many software, but let me just try with JDK. So you can install JDK 11 or OpenJDK like that in your Ubuntu machine. Or what you can do, just write Java command in your Ubuntu. If it will not be present, it will show you the installation method. Okay, nothing to worry. After installing Java, you can just follow these steps to install Jenkins. Everything is same, like step number 1, 2 and 3. You don't have to upgrade your Jenkins at all. So you can do this. And in case if you want to install Jenkins on Windows, so again you can follow the official website. Okay, so in the Jenkins installation they will be giving a download option. Just double click that var and jar file. You have so many options to install Jenkins over there. So you can just choose your operating system and download the software. Let's say if I want to install for Windows, and then you get that zip file, just unzip it and click it there. Okay, now everything, let's say for Red Hat CentOS, you have this software and you have these commands as well, 1, 2 and 3. So everything is fine. So I hope you all are getting this step. Now once Jenkins is installed in my anywhere machine, so what I need to do, I need to start the service. So I'm doing systemctl start Jenkins. Okay, in Red Hat and Ubuntu you can install start the service in the same way, but in Windows you don't have to do that. Windows is automatically starting that service. Let me check that status of service as of now. See, so it's now active and running. Okay, when the Jenkins is active and running, you can now open the Jenkins URL. So now the time is how to access Jenkins. Okay, so we have command line and we have web UI. In general, people are using this method web UI to access. So how do I access that? let me just take that IP address, and I'm gonna just open this by 8080 port number, my IP in 8080. See, the installation is not completed yet, so they are saying the password to install your Jenkins is available here in your VM or Linux. So I can copy this location, and in my Linux where I have installed Jenkins, I can just cat that password and I can supply it here and then continue. Okay, let's save it. So you need to install some plugins. I'll talk about plugins tomorrow, but just install the suggested one. So I'm clicking here, and when I'm clicking here, the plugin installation will take some time for the first time. Okay, so make sure you are having good internet connection or you're using your Amazon cloud to install that. If you're installing it in your local laptop, so you can open this URL by localhost colon 8080. Okay, so in your local laptop or local system in Windows, how you can open that? It's 127.0.0.1 8080. Okay, so it will be running. See, you can create a user. Let's say I'm creating username admin, password is something. Okay, and you can just give full name and email address as well, and just click on save and continue. So this will be your fixed URL, by the way. Now just save. Alright, start using Jenkins. So that's the dashboard. So here we are going to make a team and make a build, and so many things are there. So this is the installation of your Jenkins today, right? Now what you have to do, first of all, watch this video again and again. Watch this video at least 2 times. 2 times. Why? To understand DevOps, exactly, DevOps culture, to understand pipeline, right? And please install Jenkins in your own Linux and Windows or whatever you have. Okay, and this is an assignment for everyone. 4th step is definitely this is for everyone. Run Jenkins in a container, right? So I can tell you, if you open your Docker Hub, you already have an image for Jenkins. Already have an image for Jenkins. If I search for Jenkins, you have so many images. You don't have to install Jenkins, just use this image and deploy it. So I don't know which image you're going to use, so you have to test that by your own. Jenkins official, and they have given method, you know, how to create container, right? They have given method, so maybe you can follow that, but anyway you are following method 1 or method 2, it's very much up to you. But container based Jenkins installation is required. You can also use this by Jenkins. This is also good image, 100 M+ downloads are there. Okay, just pull the image and see the documentation. Okay, so this is something that is for today. So yes, it will work for AWS free trial, 1 GB RAM rhythm, it will work. Okay, so Jenkins can work in 1 GB RAM and 1 core CPU also. Okay, so thank you so much guys, and it's all set. If you have any question, please ask. Otherwise, we can wrap it up for today. Please do watch this video twice or thrice to understand DevOps and pipeline more and more. Okay. So, time to say goodbye for now. If you all are happy and okay with the session today, just don't forget to like and subscribe and share with people. And all set, right? So if you understand everything, just say yes in the chat window. Okay, great guys, wonderful. So good job. And please do not forget web team 10:30 p.m. you need to remind me on WhatsApp group so that I can assign a project to you guys. Okay, wonderful, and have a great day ahead. Okay, so now just stopping this training.